best dragons in fiction. That's what we're going to be talking about today, okay? And understand this. This is a fan-requested video, and this is one of my more committed ones, okay? It started off with just one, and then there was two, and now it turned into every single video that I make. I am getting absolutely bombarded with videos demanding of a dragon tier list, and I finally relented. I will relent on this one. We're going to be ranking dragons, everything from Smaug to Mushu to Toothless to Balerion to Alduin to Bayle The Dread, maybe Barney. I don't know. I think Barney's a dinosaur. I don't even know why that came to my head, but I kind of like I don't know. In this video, we're going to be talking about all of that. If you enjoy this, consider a like, comment, and subscribe. We are trying to reach 400,000 subscribers before the end of the year. That is the goal. Hit the bell icon to stay notified. Anything from 3 to 5 uploads a week. And if you have a video suggestion, leave it in the comment section down below. Get it liked up. And with all that out of the way, let's get into the video right now. Smaug. Okay, so Smaug, when we're looking at the Lord of the Rings, he's on like the smaller side, okay? He comes in, absolutely takes over the mountain, comes in, steals their lunch money, steals their heart of the mountain, and steals their gold, causing all of the dwarves of the mountain to leave their homeland, essentially kind of just becoming homeless for basically the next couple of decades. Going on 100 years, by the way, okay? And Smaug is also, because all dragons kind of have their thing, completely impervious to just about all weapons aside from a very specific type of arrow coming from a ballista that'll pierce its scales. If you really think about it, bro, the amount of plot armor that it would take for like that Smaug has. And you know what? Here's another question, dude. I think we, as the human race right now, could absolutely decimate every single dragon. Like, come in there, absolutely decimated, bro. You're a dragon? Well, guess what? We got a raptor. Because I'm hearing this being like, well, it can only be punctured with the metal that comes from the black arrows. And I'm over here like, it's still an arrow, though. Like, it's an arrow. Like, again, it's like one of those things where, like, yeah, bro, like, arrows used to be, like, arrows ruled over combat for a very long time. Now what's ruling over combat? Drones. I just don't see a scenario where Smaug is taking on a drone, but that's not the conversation that we're having. We are talking about Smaug as it comes from everything from design to aura to just how cool he is. And when I'm looking at Smaug, the thing is, dude, Smaug, carried by the performance of Benedict Cumberbatch's absolutely goated voice actor, what he did for Smaug. I think he has a relatively cool design that is above just the basic dragon that we're going to be covering in a second. And I'm going to be real here, dog. I think he is probably just a good dragon. I think he's a good design. I'm not saying that he's up there. I think there are other ones that are frankly quite a bit better. And I'm going to put him, honestly, in just good. Mushu from Mulan. Mushu is the best name that they came up with. Like, dude, I'm sorry. Anybody who knows the language quite a bit more, like, does Mushu mean anything, bro? Because I'm just gonna be honest with you. That sounds like the biggest, like, executive was working on. Are we making a Mulan movie? All right. Oh, there's a dragon voiced by Eddie Murphy. Murphy. Fuck it. Name him Mushu. Like, that's what it feels like, bro. Like, if we don't mean Mushu, bro, name him General Zhao. Like, that's what it feels like. And, like, the name kind of takes that out for me a little bit. But Eddie Murphy put on an amazing performance, bro. Eddie Murphy is funny. He is, dude. Daddy Daycare, there's a goated movie, dude. Now, not enough people are put under that game. Eddie Murphy and Adam Sandler, they were putting on some banger performances back in the day, bro. Tyler Perry also was putting on some... There was a lot of good comedic movies back in the day. And when I'm looking at Mushu, here's the problem, though. Like, I'm ranking them against all of these absolute giga chads, bro. Like, this is really, like, coughing baby versus hydrogen bomb type of conversations here. I'll admit the performance is good, but outside of everything, bro, like, bro, he can't even fly. A cricket outdoes him. I'm putting this, honestly, I'm just going to put him in lame. I might move him up for something very, very specific, but I'm going to put him in lame for now. Charizard. He's iconic. Okay. He's pretty powerful. Okay. But Like, this is the problem that I'm having, bro. If I'm taking all of these criteria and I'm putting them together and I'm taking Charizard, Charizard's being carried by a lot of his, how iconic he is as a character. And I'm gonna be real. Like at the time of making this video, there was just a local, there was an unaliving of a Pokemon collector. Which is like, bro, it took that long for one of these to happen. Like, bro, like, have you guys just now started keeping track of these? Like, I feel like Charizard is winning on a lot of his notoriety. But at the same time, dude, I feel like Charizard's kind of soft-locked at, like, a decent. Frankly, I think he is. I think Charizard has to be soft-locked at a decent. I might have to rearrange these tiers later on in the video, so keep an eye out for that. But I'm going to keep Charizard at that decent to keep everything, like normal. The Bone Dragon from Dragon Hunters. Bro, dude, I'm about to put you on to some game in a second, dude. There was this movie called Dragon Hunters that came out in 2008. And it took place in this weird, kind of like Dark Souls-y type of... And I say Dark Souls-y because there was just a lot of stuff that just felt weird in this movie. And the movie felt like a fever dream, okay? And the final dragon of this movie is a dragon made out of pure bone that had the ability to not only breathe fire, it is about the size of a castle, and it has this ability that it can pull in things, and like it has like a tractor beam that it can do. Another ability that it has that is so dope but so scary in a kid's movie that if you see it, you automatically get your brain, you become insane. You absolutely lose your mind because it is such an eldritch horror that by witnessing it, you actively lose your mind if you leave without taking it out. So it's impossible for you to witness the dragon and walk away and tell other people about it without absolutely sounding insane. That is such a cool premise for not just a dragon, but like any type of like supernatural creature that once you see it, you can never leave it because by leaving it, your brain will start going insane because you'll start processing the absolute abomination that you witnessed. That's so cool. That's such a cool premise. I'm putting that in great. I can't put it in goated because it is a more niche. But I'm putting it in great. Not a lot of you guys know about that one, bro. Look, don't even watch the full movie Dragon Hunters if you can find it. Just watch the final battle of Dragon Hunters. That's such a cool premise for a dragon, though. Drogon from Game of Thrones. Basic. Understand this. This is what I mean. Drogon is such a basic level dragon that, yeah, bro, he's kind of formidable, but he's formidable because he's not really taking on anything that's even somewhat equal to him. And like, oh yeah, well, they can take him out with ballistas. Brother, that doesn't even have like the Smaug thing where like, I bet if you shot an arrow at Drogon, the arrow would be able to puncture it. But it just doesn't go deep because it's essentially like throwing like sharp little pebbles at me. It doesn't do a lot, but I guess it hurts a little bit. And then shooting a whole ballista, a siege weapon at it, of course is going to do more damage. It's kind of like, you know what it reminds me of? When it's like, we hear vampires, like the way to take out a vampire is a stake through the heart. And I'm over here like, brother, that takes out everybody. Everybody gets no dipped by a stake through the heart. What are you talking about, bro? But when I'm looking at Drogon, it's just, I guess it's like decent. Like it's decent, bro. I might even put it in lame because he's just a reskin of all of his siblings and he doesn't have that oomph. Like he doesn't have that oomph energy, bro. I'm putting him in decent though. Spyro! Spyro is single-handedly basically saving the entirety of his dragon kind throughout those games. Absolutely carrying the PS2 for a little bit. And he has the ability to... Brother, let me go through his feats, okay? Frees basically the entirety of his dragon civilization from being crystallized. Takes on multiple entities that are above his own power level. Carries the PlayStation 2 for a little bit. On top of all of that is the first Skylander. The first Skylander, bro! Dude, Spyro's a real one. I stand on that, bro. I'm putting Spyro in good. Because he has reached OG status. OG status gets you put in good. Because they're just a level of being iconic. Yes, I relent. Is he the most powerful? Bro, I'm going to be real. Most powerful? He's doing some crazy stuff. Brother, he was hitting a Dark Souls roll for a little bit. I'm putting him in good. I think that's a fair placement. Ancalagon the Black. So, Smaug is one of the smallest dragons within the lore of Lord of the Rings. Ancalagon, the strongest and mightiest of all of the dragons to ever exist, is so big that he used the mountain I know it's not the same mountain. He used the mountain as a stepstone to Aura Farm. Ancalagon the Black is so massive of a dragon that I don't even know how you deal with that. They literally had to use a rock. Like my Lord of the Rings deep lore is pretty messed up. There's gonna be some corrections in the comment section. Admittedly, I'm kind of rusty on this one, bro. He's so big that he's above kaiju level, and we're just going into like pure Lovecraftian level of size. Like, brother, we're talking about like literal godstones that could fracture continents had to be used in taking him out. Like, most powerful things ever had to be used in taking him out. And Ancalagon, based off that, you just have to put him in goated. You have to put him in goated, dude. King Ghidorah. King Ghidorah is a three-headed dragon that ran the ones, the twos, and the three heads up on Godzilla, okay? He has the ability to shoot out lightning, and he's technically a space alien. Not technically, he literally is a space alien. And here's the thing, bro. Like, you have to put him up there because there's another dragon on here that is blatantly inspired by King Ghidorah. And really, if you look at it this way, bro, like, you can't count Godzilla. You really can't count. If I count Godzilla, I'm counting Barney. If Godzilla's in this video, Barney's in this video, bro. And when I'm looking at the like, King Ghidorah, amazing name, good aura farming and just about everything that he's in, and he's known as the... brother, he was a natural predator of the Godzilla... Okay, that's another thing that kind of bothers me. If King Ghidorah is effectively an alien, which is stated in the Godzilla movies, right? How is he the natural predator of Godzilla's species? Like, how does that work? I'm going to put this, honestly, King Ghidorah, I'm going to put him in goated as well. I'm going to put him goated as well. I really do. I got to put him there. Toothless. So let me just state this, bro. I think Toothless's design is really dope. I think the concept of the Night Fury is so dope that it's a dragon that is so undocumented because it's basically like the falcon, like the golden falcon of the dragon's world, that it's so fast that no people can ever actually dominate it. And document it. And the only way that they know it's coming is because it goes so fast that it literally causes a whistle in the air. To the only thing that you can do if the Night Fury is near you is say, Night Fury! And then something in the distance becomes past tense. That's so sick. That's such a cool design, dude. And also, Toothless is a homie. I'm putting Toothless in great. I gotta put Toothless in great, dude. I have to. Balerion. Balerion is the mightiest dragon that has ever existed in Westeros, if you don't count old Valeria. And I'm not even gonna remotely get into that. But when you go through the like the Targaryen line, Balerion, Balerion the Dread? No, I think I'm Bayle the Dread. Balerion is such a massive dragon that you could take 15 to 16 Drogons, put them in a line, and it wouldn't be like as big as Balerion was. Vermithor, the one that the big dragon from House of the Dragon, was the second biggest dragon. Vermithor got lil broed by Balerion. That's how big Balerion was. Well, how did Balerion go? Balerion went to old AIDS. Like that's absurd. Imagine being such an overpowered dragon that the moment that you pass, you guys start having a civil war with the last Targaryen to ever bond with you. Yeah, that's a fun fact. The last Targaryen to ever bond with Balerion was, I think it was the Leper, not the Leper King, but the Targaryen. Oh my goodness, I'm blanking out on the name. It's Daemon Targaryen's brother, the son, the father of Rhaenyra that starts the Dance of the Dragons. Yeah, no, he was the last Targaryen to ever bond with Balerion, and Aegon I and his two incest sisters were able to conquer basically the entirety of Westeros with Balerion, Vermithor, and then one other dragon, and then they absolutely smoked everybody. Balerion, for his feats, for everything, I think you gotta put him, honestly, dude, I'm gonna put him in a great. I'm gonna put him at the top of great. Alduin! from Elder Scrolls. So let me go through Alduin really quick. Alduin is essentially the devil of the dragon. So how dragons work in my nose is so itchy, bro. My nose is so itchy. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So he is the firstborn of Akatos. Akatos is the dragon god of time, and Akatos is, you know, that. And then he had a child, and the first child was Alduin. And Alduin had a brother named Paarthurnax that isn't in this video. And Alduin reigned over all the dragons, and then the dragons reigned over the Nords, and the Nords were basically worshipping dragons. And then what eventually happened is that Paarthurnax betrayed Alduin, and Alduin also has dragon speech. He's very intelligent, and it is said that he will eat the world. Alduin is known as the World Eater. But this is the problem that I have with it, bro. Alduin is just a reskinned version of every other dragon. Like, I need you to understand this, bro. Looking back on it, and I get it was technical limitations. Alduin's not that. How is he gonna consume the world, though? Like, I get it, but, like, if you really think about it, Alduin isn't even that big of a dragon. And, well, how they defeated him in the first place is that Paarthurnax gave an Elder Scroll to the Ancient Nords, and the Ancient Nords sent him in the future to where they said that there would be a prophecy that the Dovahkiin would once again come to Skyrim, and the Dovahkiin was going to then take out Alduin, which we do in Skyrim. So all that to be stated, I'm going to be real. Alduin is iconic, but low-key, bro, fraud watts. Fraud watts. I'm putting him bottom of good, honestly, bro. Alduin's on fraud watts, dude. I stand on that. Bayle the Dread. Bayle! Curse you, Bayle! So good. Dude, I remember playing that DLC for the first time and having no clue what I was taking on. And to see, like, all of the slain dragons going up to this final, like, resting place. And then you see this field of red flowers. And fun fact, the red flowers are every single time that somebody, passes in battle against Bayle, a flower sprouts to where they last were. So all of those red flowers are everybody else that has fallen. And Bayle himself is the dragon that challenged Paarthurnax. And Paarthurnax is the, basically not the dragon god himself, but he is the second in command to the actual god of all the dragons when the cataclysm occurred inside of Elden Ring, which took out the entirety of, like, the dragon's capital and all of their reign. Okay, and Bayle took on Paarthurnax, and they essentially almost stalemated, but Paarthurnax was able to get slightly the better of him, and then Bayle was getting hunted down by all these other dragons, and then Bayle took them down and ate them. Bayle is injured at the time that we are taking him on, and he is using a piece of severed bone from his wing to take us out. And then he has the ability to use dragon magic to make other wings to fly with. Oh, that's so dope, bro. He goes and goated. So good. So good, dude. Paarthurnax. So Paarthurnax is basically the consort. So is basically the consort of the dragon god, and Paarthurnax, when he dueled Bayle, ended up started hiding inside of a tornado outside of time that was going to be until his dragon god once again returned. And Paarthurnax has the ability to shoot essentially a laser beam. Parcel, not time control, but he has, like, a good relationship with, like, the god that can do time control. There is a little bit of Skyrim influence when we're talking about Elden Ring, just a little bit. He had 4 heads in total, but 2 of those got ripped off by Bayle the Dread, so it's kind of like a Hydra thing. And then he has also dragon sorceries, which is also sick. But I am gonna say this right now: this is definitely a slight inspiration from Akatos, Akatos and Alduin from Elder Scrolls, and obviously King Ghidorah just from Godzilla. All around, super sick battle, but I'm gonna put it, honestly, bro, I'm gonna put it in a good. I'm going to put it in a top of good going into great. That is my opinion. And there you go. That is me ranking the best and worst dragons in fiction. If you enjoyed this video, please consider a like, comment, and subscribe. We are trying to reach 400,000 subscribers before the end of the year. That is the goal. And if you have a video that you would like me to do, leave it in the comment section. Get it liked up. And that's how videos like this are made. And I owe videos like this to people like you. Thank you for putting me in the place that I can make this type of content and other stuff. I can experiment with other stuff. And again, thank you for that. Hit the bell icon to stay notified for all uploads. We try to do 3 to 5 uploads a week. We have an Ethan on live channel where we do live streams in short form. And with all that out of the way, I will see you all in the next one. Adios, guys.